Good day. God bless you guys. Welcome back. My name is Zach, and this is episode 29 in the Healthy, Wealthy, Happy series. John chapter 6, verse 35 says, Then Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. And so I'm 72 hours in right now and feeling great. Yesterday I was just really amped up, and today I'm about 75% as good as I was yesterday. Although today I had some really strong uh, mental, emotional desires to eat, and just thinking about food in general. But on the positive note, one, I was only thinking about eating healthy food. I feel my life transition into this whole new life. It's not a diet. It's not a something I'm going to just, really try hard to do for a while. I'm just doing it forever. And I have to adapt whatever I have to do to change the way my mind is, to change the way my emotions. If I need to go to a therapist, I've thought about it already. Like, I am not quitting on myself. I am not giving up. I felt the overwhelming, like I had explained it before, where I get this overwhelming desire to eat. And when I'm on a fast, and then it just gets in me. And then I don't just go eat immediately, but then, like after work that day, or, sometimes it's even the next day where I'm still just that seed grew in me to just, and then I want to break the fast. And then I usually, in those cases, I don't break it good. It's because I want to overeat. It's like I don't even want to eat. I want to overeat. So that Bible verse kind of got me through today. That idea, of I'm struggling, and I was like, Jesus said, I'll have the power to cast this mountain into the sea. And I was like, all right, let me just cast this mountain and give it up to the Lord and cast this into the sea and let it be gone from me. And I drank 3 or 4 cups of black tea today just because I had that emotional hunger coming on, which kind of turned into some rumbling in the stomach. But I'm noticing that rumbling in your stomach, I really feel my body, that's thirsty. That's when I want water. The hunger is like up in your throat, in your chest area, where you feel this like it opens up and starts to like salivate, and like you're ready to eat, and your body's releasing these hormones to tell you to eat. And so that hunger is different. And when it's rumbling in your stomach, I think you just need to drink a 8-ounce cup of water, or some tea or whatever. So yesterday was live chatting with, and I got to keep an eye on the live chat a little better, because sometimes people are talking down there and I don't even notice. But we're talking about some different books, and he had recommended I go look up this guy, and I looked him up, and he's awesome, and I'm going to continue to watch him, and maybe I can convey some of the powerful messages he has. But right now I'm just, I just watched 2 or 3 of his videos last night. Really awesome, like just like a personal motivator, self-help type guy. So anyway, I had brought up to Big Steve was his name yesterday, that I had recommended Dr. Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code. So I just looked up real quick which of Dr. Jason Fung's books I had in my Audible collection, and I had Life in the Fasting Lane, The Complete Guide to Fasting. Those are 2 separate books. The Obesity Code and the Diabetes Code. And I might have had some more, but those were right in a row, and I just wrote them down quick. So if I had to recommend between those 2 fasting books, between all 4 of these books, I would say just read the Obesity Code. And it kind of has everything in it. It has all the information about the diabetes in it. It has information about intermittent fasting and extended fasting in it. And then, so if you read the Obesity Code or listen to it, whatever, I way prefer listening to them, because when I'm reading with my eyes and I don't hear anything, I start daydreaming as I'm reading, and I'll read a whole page, and then I'll realize, oh man, I need to go back and read it again because I was daydreaming about something else. And also, as I was scrolling through my Audible books, I don't know, 150, a couple hundred on there, I remember the one I was trying to say yesterday where I said like Giant Steps or something by Anthony Robbins, which I think he does have one called Giant Steps, but that isn't the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of Awaken the Giant Within. And if you're just trying to get motivated to get going, like you don't think you're ready to fast, you don't think you're ready to intermittent fast, you don't think you're ready to make that big life change that you need to make to really overcome the obstacles in your life, whether it's, you're in a bad relationship, or your finances are not in check, or your health is not in check, or whatever it is that you need some motivation for. That book, I've listened to it many, many times. Like every time I need to re-kick my stuff, I fall off the wagon and I need to get back on track, I'll listen to that one. And then Money Wise, just quick, because I do like to incorporate, because you're doing all this stuff at the same time. It ain't like you're only focused on your diet. Like, I'm going to say something funny in a minute, but like Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad. Think and Grow Rich is the old Napoleon Hill one, and Rich Dad Poor Dad is the Robert Kiyosaki one. And they're just two classics. I mean, Robert Kiyosaki has become one of the most widely acclaimed financial guru type authors in the last probably 20 years, and Think and Grow Rich is from way back. And it's just a classic. I actually think Think and Grow Rich would be, if you're going to pick one of those two, I'd read Think and Grow Rich first. And Think and Grow Rich, though, you might want to actually read the hardcover, because it has a lot of like stop and do this, write this out, make a list of this. And if you're listening to it on Audible and you're like busy, you're not going to stop and do what it says to do. And so like Awaken the Giant Within to get you motivated, the Obesity Code to educate you on what you really need to do and what's going on in your body when you're gaining weight and when you're getting pre-diabetic, and your blood sugar and your insulin and your hormones. It just talks about all of it in there, and it's a great book that just covers so much information. So talking about like getting reinvigorated, and I'm working this program right now, and like I said yesterday or the day before, how it's turning out, and it's continued to be true today. I'm 72 hours in, that it's way easier for me to be on my fasting days. I feel fine. The 4 days of eating, I didn't even eat good on either one of those 4 days of eating. So now I'm really looking forward to eating super, super healthy on this coming 4, which I might do the 6. We'll figure it out here. So first of all, when I write my notes down, I just write what episode I'm on, and I write a Bible verse, and okay, I talked about Audible books, and I wrote 48 hours in and I'm feeling great. And it just shows you I'm 72 hours in, but I wrote 48 on accident. Like, I don't even know what day I'm on, because I just feel fine. Like, it's no big deal. I'm 3 days. I haven't eaten. What day is it? It's Friday. So I didn't eat Friday. I didn't eat Thursday. I didn't eat Wednesday. So I haven't eaten since Tuesday. It seems like a big thing, but when you get used to this and train your body and your mind, mostly your mind, because your mind is going to control, all them hormones and that sugar addiction, which, by the way, sugar addiction is very, very, very real. But I don't want you to use it as, I'm fat because I have a sugar addiction. Yeah, that is true. But that doesn't make you a victim. You're the one eating all that sugar. You just got to start placing those votes for you. You got to start loving yourself and caring about yourself more than you love that addiction. I don't remember where I read this, if it was in an Audible book or online somewhere, but it was talking about a study measuring the dopamine responses to different substances. And if I remember correctly, it was either 4 times or 8 times more powerful sugar was than cocaine in stimulating that response in your brain. So like, sugar really is that addictive. And kind of getting off track a little bit, but like when crops got subsidized in America, or really your tax dollars are just giving these food companies free ingredients to make everything they want for pennies on the dollar, when they could get sugar so free. I can't remember what year it was. It was a long time ago. Like 150-ish companies started in 1 year, all making junk food, just snack cakes and, junk. And man, they know how addictive sugar is. I mean, they're killing it. They're making the money. We're the answer. We're the answer to these problems. You can't say you want to shut down McDonald's because they're so unhealthy, or watch your, and I don't mean to pick on McDonald's because they're the most popular fast food and been around the longest. I mean, Ray Kroc was a genius and it established the franchising situation with Golden State Foods and invented a way to have a company or hundreds or tens of thousands of companies now that can only buy food from you is genius. But anyway, my point is you want them to go out of business and quit going there. You want restaurant. Yeah. Wouldn't there be I've thought about this. Maybe if this channel gets big enough and I get 10 million followers and I make enough money to actually open a really fast, because I've timed it. I've gotten off the freeway and gotten back on the freeway in 2 minutes going to McDonald's. I used to live farther away from work. Now I'm just right in town here, but yeah, there was one, just take a right and you pull in and it was there and the exit was right back. You didn't even have to turn around. It was the other way, just going. And it was literally, 120 seconds later to get in there and get my meal and get out. Wouldn't it be great if there's something like that where it was all healthy food? It was a piece of fruit. It was a vegetable bowl. It was a healthy salad with healthy, it was none of the artificial ingredients, none of the GMOs, none of the pesticides, none of the herbicides. And the reason it doesn't exist now is because it's just not in demand enough. You got a $1 menu at some of these restaurants, and it's just inconceivable that they're making a profit at all. And usually they're not. It's just it's a gimmick to get you in there, and then they upsell you with everything else. But my point is, we're the solution to most of the problems in this country. Not that this country has many problems that are actually real. I mean, if we would just shut the hell up and turn off the news and get along with your neighbors, it'd be a much better situation we'd be in. So like I said, I had the really strong mental and emotional temptations today that it got me down for a minute. Like, man, what are you doing? You can't do this again. You can't go back to this weakness and just fall back. You've worked so hard to come this far, And then it's like I clicked and I felt that, I'm on that I'm elevated, like I'm 30,000 feet up looking down. And it's like, this is not that big a deal, man. You just got a little temptation to eat. Don't sweat it. Calm down. Because physically I'm feeling great. Like if I'm sitting down for a half hour or something and I jump up, when you're not eating for 3 days, 4 days, your blood pressure you're gonna feel really low blood pressure when you jump up like that. So physically that's gonna happen. That's something, if you were on your first 72-hour fast and you were, let's say, about 36 hours in and you're just not used to going that long without eating, and you get up and you get all lightheaded and you don't know what it is, and you're probably just gonna go eat. And I would actually recommend that you do. You don't want to be uncomfortable and panicky, when you're trying something new. When you've done it dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and it's just it's only going to last literally 5 or 10 seconds. Like I stood up too fast at work and it happened, and I put my arm down on a desk, and I was like, "Ooh, I got up a little too fast." And I took a little drink of water, and a little drink of water will help, boost up your blood pressure a little bit too, and get rid of that woozy feeling. So I was feeling good. Like that big wave came on me and I just cast it out into the sea and it was gone, and I feel great. I'm a little perturbed because the manager of my building texted me when I was at work that I needed to sign some documents just because of my storage unit I got. So I was all ready to go to the gym. I got my shorts and my workout clothes on today, and I had my running shoes on. And I was like, I got to go to the apartment building. I was like, no big deal, because, I was a little lightheaded at work. Play it safe. You can definitely not work out when you're fasting. You're going to lose weight. Your body's healing and recovering. I'd actually probably recommend not trying to work out while you're fasting. Like I'm just being all hardcore, especially that first 24 hours, fast 24 hours and then go get a crush and workout. And then I know I'm in fat burning ketosis mode. So anyway, so I get to my building. I text the guy, "Hey, I'm here. We can sign them documents." He's like, "Oh, I got busy. We'll have to do it tomorrow." So now I'm like, what the hell? So I would have went to the gym. I was just going to go walk on the treadmill real slow anyway. So anyway, I talking about like incorporating, it's your whole life. It's everything you do. It doesn't have to be like you're obsessed with fitness or what you eat, or it's just that this is who you are now. You changed you elevated, you escaped this trap. And it's hard. It's hard to even know when you're in it or when you're out of it. But when you're out of it, then you know. And so I had some tasks to do at work today, and I had to do this one thing 16 times. Let's just say I had to put my Rubik's Cube here. And then it took about a minute, and I had to do it 16 times. So it was like, put it there, wait a minute with this test happening, and then put it down, and then do a different one. So I put it down, I hit the test, and I walked for 30 seconds, and I walked back for 30 seconds. So I actually got like 16 minutes of walking, just nonstop, fast paced back. And I walked all the way to this wall and back. And the first time I did it, it was right on, like 2 seconds left when I got there, and it was perfect timing. So I'm incorporating that. I did some push-ups at work again. I did some crunches at work again. I did some other exercises as far as aging male workouts we can do. I'm going to have a whole video about that, so I don't want to talk about it right now. So anyway, we're 72 hours in. Tomorrow night is where I would do my weigh-in for my 96 hours would be over. But it's going to be a game time decision, because tomorrow night would be the night I could eat. Okay. Where I would come home and eat the one meal for dinner. And I had planned to just eat some potatoes, because I have I buy, I don't know, like a 3 or 5 pound bag. No, it ain't no 5 pound. It must be like a 3 pound bag of potatoes, where they're kind of like the medium ones. They're kind of white. And anyway, I like them. And they don't seem to mess me up too bad if I just only eat those, and put some butter and salt on them or something, and some bacon and some sour cream and chives and a couple of hamburgers. And no, if I just boil the potatoes, then they're pretty gentle on my stomach. So, but I'm kind of feeling like the guy said last night video, to just ride the momentum and just keep it going and I started thinking, well, I don't have to go 2 days. I don't have to decide. I can get off work tomorrow and decide, you know what, I'm going to go till the morning, and then, like an extra 12 hours, or I can say I'm going to go till, Saturday, tomorrow's Saturday, so Saturday, I'm going to go till Saturday night, no matter what. So let's say I get off work Saturday tomorrow night, and I decide, let me go 12 more hours and go till Sunday when I get to work, and eat some breakfast when I get there, or wait till after work Sunday and go an extra day, or go the whole 2 days. Sunday, Monday would be the extra 2 days. And then I have off Tuesday and Wednesday, which I'm for sure going to be eating, because I like the way this is going, because like I said before, if I fasted like 10 days straight, it's somewhere between day 7 and 9. Your body's releasing toxins, and it's great for you, but to have to work through it instead of be in a clinic surrounded by nurses and doctors and physicians that are monitoring you, and so you're okay, and you're not, you're getting massages and physical therapy, and just a lot easier to push through that pain. Where so far these 96 hours, except for that little lightheadedness I told you, and I don't even have that often. It's just this time. Oh, there's a big yawn, man. It's only 8 o'clock. I'm kind of glad I didn't go to the gym, because I am feeling pretty shot. And I keep forgetting I have a gym at my work, and I could easily sneak in there for not the whole last 2 hours of my shift, but at some point within the last 2 hours of my shift, and not have to be at the gym so late after work. So no matter what I decide, though, whether I go till tomorrow night or Sunday night or Monday night, I'm not stressed out about it. It's just going to be how I feel. If I feel like eating tomorrow, I'm going to eat. If I want to wait, I'm going to wait. But no matter what I do, I'll weigh in tomorrow night, and I'll weigh in whenever I decide to end it. So if I end it tomorrow night, I'll weigh in. If I end it the next day, whatever. But when I weigh in, I'm going to set a much lower cap on the refeed weight limit, because when I was 270 and I lost 14 pounds, and then I said 265, when I could tell, I ate until I weighed 265. And so I was able to eat a lot, because I had a lot of pounds that go back. And then I got down to 253, and I said, don't go over 260 this time. And I did the same thing. I ate until I was at 260. which no, it's 253. So the first time I had 9 pounds of gain back, and then the second time I had 7 pounds of gain back. So maybe this time I'll switch it to where I only have like 5 pounds of gain back. So just based on, I just weighed in, and I'll just tell you, I was under 253 already. But you know, it does depend. I might be right around the same thing by tomorrow, because like I said, I'm fleshed out by now. You know what I mean? All the carbs are gone, which all that water's gone. And I didn't chug my water at work today. So like, let's say tomorrow I chug more water, I might still be at the 252, 253 point, which I won't be too bummed out, because like I said, I've been in the gym, I've been pumping, I've been walking, jogging, doing circuit workouts. I mean, to think that I'm not gaining any weight as far as muscle toning would actually be a bummer. You know, I'm trying to gain muscle weight, at least density, because in the long run, by the time we're to April 1st, that increased muscle mass, or at least muscle density, will burn more fat, like your basal metabolic rate. That keeps your basal metabolic rate up. And when I step on my scale, you know, it has the app, and it connects your feet to the electrodes, and it tells you your body water, your bone mass, your muscle mass, your body fat percentage, and blah, blah, blah. It also gives you like a body age and everything. And I'm 50, and it always says I'm like 39 or 40. And it's because of my high amount of muscle mass, which I don't know. I think it runs in my family to have just higher testosterone levels as just lifelong, because like as a teenager, I was just, you know, ramped with testosterone. Every time I touched a dumbbell, my arm got bigger, you know. I had bigger biceps than anybody, even when I was a little skinny kid. But anyway, I mean, I guess I'm blessed with that, where I you know, working out still works, you know, for me. I can put on muscle if I want. But like I said in previous videos, I'm really just trying to tone up. And even if I have to lose some muscle weight, that's okay. So then I'm just going to have to figure out that cap on the refeed. And it was 9, it was 7. So maybe I'll just make it 5. No matter what I weigh, if I weigh 250 or 1 or 252 or whatever, I'll just say +5, because that'll keep it to where I have to eat very light. And I'm starting to develop, I've been researching and looking into different eating patterns and techniques. Not, you know, I'm not looking at these big crash diets, and, you know, they just don't work long term. Maybe some people have the willpower and the self-discipline to just keep doing it and keep doing it. I mean, especially if you're getting, like, let's say you're on the so-and-so diet, and you're a big advocate of it, and you have a YouTube channel with 250,000 followers or 2 million followers, whatever, and you staying on that diet is actually how you make your money. Well, then, yeah, those kind of people, you know, and they're just some jack bodybuilder. I mean, look like they're on steroids anyway, and they claim to be on this diet, and that's how they're so fit and healthy. And it's like, yeah, they're just making money off of it. So I'm just looking into ways to eat on my days off, on my eating days. And something I've looked into is just different eating patterns as far as like what you eat and when you eat it. So like to not cause like digestion upset issues and conflicts of acids and pH levels in your body, as far as what foods you eat in combination with what other foods, you know. And some of the things I've looked up are like, you know, to not combine acidic, like lemons, limes, grapefruits, oranges, some other acidic fruits. You can look them up. You know, you don't want to eat any of those in combination with like any other like meat and vegetables and starches. And so I'm developing a little strategy to eat a small breakfast, a little bigger lunch, and a smaller dinner. And based on this balanced like pH balance, acid alkaline level in your bodies. So like you can eat meat and vegetables together, like one kind of meat and some vegetables all together, and one kind of carb. But like if you have pasta, then you don't want rice, and then you don't want like kidney beans. You don't want like multiple starches in the same meal, because your body creates digestive enzymes to digest different types of carbohydrates that you eat, and your body can't create 2 different kinds to digest 2 different things that need different enzymes to digest at the same time. So that's going to cause a problem in your body, and who knows what else. it's not super scientifically based, but it has a pretty big following. And I picked up on it when I trained jiu-jitsu off and on for 20 years, reading about historical diets. They weren't like making money off of some big diet plan. It was just the way they ate for the last 100 years, and it worked for their martial arts styles and stuff. So I might talk about that more whatever day I decide to eat. But it's basically I have some meal plans written out, and some smaller calorie counts, like maybe only eat 500 calories for breakfast, and then maybe eat like 1,000 for lunch, and then like 500 for dinner. So you eat your big meal in the middle of the day instead of the end of the day, when because you want it to be all digested by the time you fall asleep. And also something I think I want to incorporate is to make sure you don't cut out all snacking, which I pretty much already do. But like that last 4, I told you I had that can of cashews, and I would snacking on them. So I'd eat a meal, and then like an hour later, I'd be snacking on cashews, and eat a meal, and then 2 hours later, snacking on cashews. So you don't want to do that. You want your digestion to completely eliminate and have all the food out of your stomach by the time you eat again. Of course, it'll still be in your upper intestines and lower intestines and stuff, but that's past being digested by then. So you can put more food in your stomach. And that takes about 4.5, 5 hours to be safe. 4.5 hours, you're probably safe, but say 5 just to make sure when you cheat, it's only 4.5. So like if you're going to eat breakfast at 7, then, if you ate at noon and you ate at 5, that'd be far enough apart. And that's just it. Three simple meals, not mixing up all these different acid and alkaline foods together. So eat meat and vegetables for one meal. Eat like in the same. Oh, also I was reading about to not eat more than one kind of fruit at a time. Like if you're gonna eat like I've done it before, where I've eaten an apple and a banana and an orange, like on break at work. And then reading about it, like those are such complex foods, man. Your body just went into shock to try to figure out how to digest, especially the banana, how to digest all these different compounds, and they just don't mix together. They're. So, and it's just something I'm going to try. I'm not, like I said, this is not some scientifically researched, proven fact, and upside down and backwards, all calculated out. But I'm liking what I'm reading. I think it has some fundamental soundness to me, and let's see if I can make it work. And with that lower cap on the refeed weight, I'm just going to guess that by tomorrow after work, I'll probably weigh. I'm hoping for 250. I'd be so happy. If I see 249.9, I'd be overjoyed, but it's going to be less than 253. So even if it's 1 or 2 pounds less, I'm just going to put the smaller cap on it then, and then eat just the small meals. And then gapping them out 5 hours will help me to where, if I have 5 pounds to work with and I eat 2 pounds of food, 5 hours later, that 2 pounds of food is going to be gone because I digested it and went to the bathroom, and then 5 hours later, and then 5 hours later. So I think it'll be easier. And that way, when I go back on the 4-day fast again, then it'll just dive down more and dive down more and dive down more. So, and it helped with the total calories too. So, all right. Like I keep saying on my fasting days, there just isn't as much to yak about because it's so simple. I feel better on my days of fasting. Again, last night, just slept. Powerhouse, knocked out asleep. Don't even remember falling asleep again. I'm drinking my nighty night tea right now. It's only 8. So I bet you this will be another. This stuff just, because I don't use coffee anymore. And because I used to drink this when I drank coffee in the morning, I drink this at night, and it never worked this good. And then the same thing with the nicotine. I think the nicotine's having a bigger effect on me sleeping great than even the no coffee. But between no coffee and no nicotine and the nighty night tea, it's just, I'm having the best rest that I've had in a decade. Like I was driving home from work yesterday, and I drove by a jiu-jitsu school here near my home. And I remembered when I trained jiu-jitsu a lot, I used to train like 6 days a week. And I would sleep so good because, I would go 2 hours a day, and, it'd be just grappling and wrestling and submission fighting with guys for 2 hours every night. And then it just sleeps so hard, like just your whole body's in shutdown mode after that. And that's kind of how I feel now. Like, and I'm just doing light workouts at the gym every other day, or even every third day now, because I'm just chilling. This is just simple. So, Did not get a whole lot of new subscribers since yesterday. I'm gonna double check, but I know I had a few. So thank you guys. Um, please, go to the what is it called? The playlist and the new life. It says you got to watch them all and just hit play all. And there's like 10 hours of videos to watch, but like them all. Share the ones that you think find interesting. Like this video. If you're watching this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And I just thank everybody for following along, and the people that have been communicating with me. Thank you so much, because that is really, half the reason I started the channel was to, launch my own motivation, but to like I said in my very first episode 1, it was not scripted or anything, so it was just kind of dorky sounding, but it was true. I just want to have a channel of people that can chat together and share ideas and share motivations. And if I can help somebody, like the guy yesterday was saying, hey, I'm gonna try a 72-hour fast. I was like, man, that's awesome. It's just so good for you. He was wanting to lose like 45 pounds, and it can be a great jump start to any diet plan. And you just got to try. And the chances that you're going to fail are extremely high. Then you just do it. Don't worry about failing. Just then you try again and you figure out, well, what was the issue? Why did it get in my head like that? Why am I so addicted to sugar? And then you start, maybe, you cut out pop, and then you go for a walk and you drink more water, and you switch this up and switch that up, and reduce your alcohol, reduce your nicotine, reduce your caffeine. And you figure it out as you go, and and it just all can come together. And haven't really talked about it too much. Like, what really like getting diabetes was great, because it was just a big kick in the butt. Like, all right, dude, you got to get your shit together. And then getting my heart broken by a couple girlfriends in a row, if you learn from it and you make positive steps in the right direction after that, it ends up being a good thing. The last two especially, I love them both to death still. Like, I know we can't be together. You were wrong for me, and I was wrong to even pursue you, because we weren't in, the only things we had in common were little parts that fit together. Otherwise, nothing. So that's on me, and I'm learning, and it's like, okay, I didn't love myself to be in situations like that. And it's kind of what helped me get through today, is like really hard, stressful desire to eat today. And it's like, well, you're loving yourself enough to not go back to the damaging relationships, not just with women, but with old friends and with even family members. Like, if they're toxic to you, you got to at least temporarily cut them out until you can get better yourself, and we'll see where I'm at on April 1st. I'm very excited. Your happiness is obviously not all related to how much you weigh, but I know the last 2 times I've cut weight so many times, but the last 2-3 times just in the last 5 years, I had such a bigger smile on my face every day, felt better, so much more energy, and so much less of that lethargic, sluggish feeling and that afternoon crash. And why am I always tired? It's like, you're unhealthy. That's why you're always tired. You shouldn't be tired at all during the day. You get a good restful night of sleep, and you should be just wired with energy all day long if you're doing it right. And a part of that is not, I showed my gut. You could see it bounce right. It's humongous. Like, I have a long way to go. But having said that, like 72 hours into this week's fast, compared to coming back to work the first day of my fast, my work pants, like I said, they're getting tight, and the work shirt was getting tight. And then I fasted that 14 pounds is like, wow, I got some room, and just from the first day of work this week till the third day, I can feel the difference in the clothing, loosening up. And so it's motivating to know that, my body mass is reducing, even if, the scale didn't budge that much, but it budged. I lost like 2 pounds from yesterday, which, if that was 2 pounds of pure body fat, that'd be amazing. I'd be rail skinny by April 1st, but it's not. But even if it's 3/4 of a pound of body fat, the rest is probably just a loss of water. Because after a few days in, like I said, you start losing your sodium, magnesium, potassium. and then you start losing more water weight. My urine was a lot more yellow today, and I can feel my mouth a little drier today than it has been this whole time. What's the date, by the way? I think we're like a month in. I have to go back and look if it was December 5th or 6th was the first day I posted the video. And, of course, I didn't start the fasting routine then anyway, but just since I kicked off and decided to change my life for the better, and part of it was like, you know what, I already had the YouTube channel, because anytime you like a channel on YouTube, it creates your own channel anyway. So it was already there, and I had them 3 shooting videos. If you've ever seen them on my channel, it's like friends of mine recording on their phones and sent them to me. So I just put them on my YouTube channel, and they got a few hundred views over like 10 years or something, But that's why those are on there. And I was like, well, what's the point to start a new one? I'll just put videos on the same one. So I'm happy I did. I'm really glad I did. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, for example, talking about changing your behaviors. He's like, I'm going to have to bust this book out and just kind of flip through the chapters and talk about it, because it had a big effect on my ability to have motivation to do things. But one of them would be like, write out like whatever your goals are. Like April 1st, I want to weigh 218 pounds. And then be like, how do you plan on doing that? I'm going to fast 96 hours, 4 days. And then I'm going to eat healthy for 4 days. And I'm going to repeat this until April 1st. For the idea of, that's a midterm goal of, I want to weigh 170 pounds by, I don't know if I can, let's just say by the end of the year. We'll set a date and a weight for sure on April 1st, but we have that already. But anyway, so Think and Grow Rich, that's a whole chapter. It's like auto suggestion. So you read that when you wake up, you read that when you go to bed, so to me, having the YouTube channel it's 10 times more powerful than that, because it's doing the same thing, but it's saying it. And then I watch it. Like even when I sign off here, I'll probably watch it. And then, I'll try to correct errors. So if you look like in the one about diabetes, I said my brother died from diabetes when really he died from colon cancer. But then I say a little while later in the video that he died of colon cancer. And I didn't catch myself when I made the video. And I'm trying to figure out how to edit it to just have the little words over the screen, like, sorry, it wasn't diabetes. And there was a couple other ones where I was quoting how the 14% of America is African American, but I said 14% of America is Caucasian. I was talking about, African Americans are more commonly born into adversity, and that's why there's like 2 to 1 NFL players are African American, because we're almost the exact same DNA. We all have the same capacity and physical capabilities to do anything. If anybody's done it, you can do it. But that adversity is the obstacle is the way, and they overcame their obstacles and excelled physically, and anybody can do it. But I'm just pointing out that sometimes a little challenge in your life is a good thing. So like getting diabetes 6 years later, I mean, I drank big time before I got diabetes. And the day I got it, I didn't have a single beer for like 2 years, and now I drink a glass of red wine or a bottle of red wine on New Year's Eve. Oh, how long has it been? See, I can say now, just because I know I drank on New Year's Eve, now I'm going to be able to say how many days it's been since I drank. I'll probably want to drag it out now because I know the exact day. Last time I didn't know. And one more book I wanted to recommend that I ran into on my Audible that I got recommended to by my cousin. We grew up together. We're like the same age. She's maybe 6 months older than me, so she's probably 51 already, and I turn 51 in a few months. Anyway, it's The Power of Positive Thinking. And it's kind of like a self-help motivation, but it's more Christian Bible based. And even if you don't believe in the Bible, it's still the same message. And you're going to get a lot of it, but it's just being positive and that positive thinking. And it brings up a lot of Bible verses and a lot of Christian faith ideology. And so I really enjoyed that book. I listened to it maybe once or twice. And I do want to talk about, eventually talk about some of the other Audible books I've read, just so it can be obvious. Like there's like 150 of them, like I said, on my Audible, and just knowing like, oh, you read this and this and this and this, and because all that information coming into your brain, it's coming into your mind and researching it and stuff. I mean, some of them I've listened to 20 times each, and like psychology books and self-help books and, diet books and fasting books and, books on money and books on, finance and motivation and self-help, diabetes and fasting and just all of them. And they all get into your head. And I've read the Bible front and back, like I said, many, 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 many times. And it's all part of who I am. And that's why, I've tried to explain it to people in person, and I kind of tend to drive people nuts because when I get yakking, I just can't stop sometimes. Even when I know I'm doing it, I'm like, dude, stop. Let them, maybe they want to say something. They usually just end up shutting their mouth and listen to me yak, and I try to apologize later. They don't always accept my apology, but see, on my own YouTube channel, you can just yak all you want. And hopefully you can find people that appreciate that. So let me look here how we're doing on subscriptions. I think maybe only got like 2 or 3 or 4 new subscribers in the last 24 hours. So welcome to you guys, and please like the videos, share with your friends, comment anything on the videos. Like, hey, nice video. Thanks for posting. I'm gonna just keep going every day, for certain every day until April 1st, and then after that we'll see. But I'm liking it. It's like, look how much time I'm burning up. We're like 40 minutes into the video. I mean, look, I only have this little apartment. I don't the TV is not even on. I don't play video games much. I go to work, I work out. On my days off, I do a little more, but like on my work days, it's just like it's a 12-hour shift, and there's not a whole lot to do anything else anyway. So, God bless you guys. Jesus loves you, and so do I. Goodbye.